Hello everybody, welcome to another reaction of the Super Saiyan Performance Encore YouTube channel. This is going to be my first time reaction to Dan Vasc. This was actually the winner of the Dan Vasc poll from this week, which this is going to be Dan Vasc, the video style, answering weird questions. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. If you all enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below in the comment section. For any request, type the artist song by the artist. I'll make sure to react to it. Same thing with Throwback Thursday. If you all have any requests for Dan Vasc, comment below. I'll make sure to react to them. Let's get straight into it. As always, I appreciate everyone that took their time to go on my channel and vote on that Dan Vasc poll. Let's get straight into it.
You see this here? This is a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. That means I'm a pro. So I demand respect. Instead, you guys keep sending me those weird questions. I feel like I'm surrounded by weirdos. There are weirdos to my left. There are weirdos to my right. And you're a weirdo too, aren't you? That's okay, you can tell me I'm a weirdo too. And today is Weird Question Day, where I'll be answering your most weird questions. Let's start this show. Have you ever felt sexually or romantically attracted to another man? There's one man I feel attracted to, yes. And that man is myself. Victory over yourself. Is it a victory or a defeat? It's a tie. I only have a question. Why? You don't understand, okay? He had my pictures and he was threatening to show to the whole world. I had to do it. What? You were not talking about that? Okay then. What is your favorite Shakespearean insult? Mine is, I'll beat thee, but I would infect my hands. I didn't even know that Shakespearean insults were a thing. Let's Google it. Villain, I have done thy mother. Thou elvish marked abortive rooting hog. Away, you starveling, you elf skin, you dry neat's tongue, bull's pizzle, you stock fish. Thou art a boil, a plague sore. Thou cream-faced loon. Thou cream-faced loon is definitely my favorite. If a group of old women took control of reality and substituted all the components of the universe with a giant crochet, so every shape in the universe was made of wool, how would you stop them? How do you guys come up with that? You are such weirdos. I have no creativity to answer that. Have someone ever told you that your mustache looks like another pair of eyebrows? Well, joke's on you because I barely have a mustache today. Ha! What is the weirdest request you have?
I was about to say, he doesn't really have a mustache on.
Barely have a mustache today. Ha! What is the weirdest request you have received both professionally and personally? Well, personally, one time a weirdo asked me to bang his girlfriend in front of him. I said, no, I'm weird, but not so much. And professionally, when I used to work as a session musician before YouTube, I got a lot of strange gigs, like people with just terrible songwriting skills, and they would blame that on the performance of the vocals. So yeah, probably one of those gigs. What is the creepiest comment you've received on YouTube? Well, there was this lady that used to comment in pretty much all my videos. One day I replied to her and I called her darling. Like, I call everybody darling. I call most of my female fans darling, my dear. It's just my way of showing appreciation. And apparently she saw me calling another girl darling in another comment, and she went like berserk. She went back to all my videos, which were almost 200 at that time, and she left a nasty comment in each and every one of them. And she took like weeks to go through all my videos. That was so funny and creepy at the same time. Had any marital arguments with your dwarf hamster lately? Sorry if this is too personal. You're right, this is too personal. Mind your own business. Could you date a fan? Yes, actually, I would only date a fan, and I advise you to do the same. What do I mean? Well, if you're dating someone who doesn't like and admire what you do, then what are you doing with them? What you do is part of who you are. If the person doesn't like what you do, if the person is not a fan of you as a professional or as a whatever, then the person doesn't like you. And then it becomes that old story where the inevitable ultimatum comes. It's me or your career. And you don't want to get to that point. Now, of course, there are certain kinds of jobs of public nature, musicians, artists, YouTubers, actors, that have a very high chance to attract people that want to date you just because of what you do, just because they like what you do and they like nothing else about you. And we need to know how to discern those situations as well. That is obviously a problem. Actually, in any career, that is possible. So I guess the right answer to that would be yes, but you need to discern if the person's not in it just because of what you do. But yeah, being a fan of what you do is not only perfectly reasonable, but it's desirable. Wow, you see that? You even get dating advice in this channel, dude. You're welcome, single gang. If you are single gang, press the like button. But if you are taken gang, press the like button anyway. What was the most embarrassing thing that
So basically, press the like button.
ever happened to you? You know, when I was about 9 or 10, we used to have those kind of summer camps that were organized by my school at that time. And one day they had like this giant pool, and there was sort of a rope bridge that would go across the pool, and the kids would need to cross it while the teachers and coaches were like shaking the rope and trying to make you fall. It was so fun. It was pretty fun. And then it was my turn. I was trying to cross it, but I couldn't. I lost my balance and fell on the water. And as I was swimming to get out of the pool and try again, suddenly this giant dude jumps into the pool by my side, grabs me by the arm, and gets me out of the pool. And I was like, what is happening? I was all confused. The guy was wearing clothes. It turns out that this teacher, he was actually the coach of the soccer team. This coach thought I was drowning. For some reason, I don't know, maybe I was such a lousy and weird swimmer that he thought I was just drowning. And he was like this big, tall, and fat guy, and he jumps on the pool, grabs me and takes me out. And then when he finds out that I'm not actually drowning, he says, "What? You were pretending that you were drowning." And like, being a kid sucks, right? All those people say, "Oh, I miss being a kid so much." No, being a kid sucks. Nobody listens to you when you're a kid. I was trying to explain to him, no, I wasn't drowning, and I also wasn't pretending I was drowning either. But nobody listened to me, so all the teachers and all the coaches like gather around me, talking down on me. "Oh, that's such a shame. You shouldn't do that. You should know better. You never pretend you're drowning. That is not a joke. This is serious stuff." But I wasn't pretending, and I wasn't drowning either. And then I just started to cry, and the whole school was watching that. That was pretty embarrassing. I remember particularly at one time, one of the coolest coaches, like the one that all the kids love, he just went by me, looked at me in the eye, and made this. And I was like, oh, I disappointed the cool coach, even though I did nothing wrong, besides being a lousy swimmer, apparently. And like years after that, when I was in high school, that fat big coach that saved me, he would pass by me on the corridors and say, "Daniel, the drowning man." And I was just like, so yeah, that was the most embarrassing situation I ever went through. Would you rather do your girlfriend in your mom's body or do your mom in your girlfriend's body? I would rather die. What's the secret behind this hair, man? Well, isn't it obvious? I bathe it on the blood of the innocent twice a week. Duh. If they really are watching us and spying on us through our phones, what is the weirdest thing they might have footage of you doing or saying? Probably me using my phone as a mirror to see hard to reach places. Let's leave it at that. Why did you do that thing that one time that you did at the time you did it? you didn't see this. On those very rare occasions when you're not feeling epic, what food brings you back? Well, there's a few wrong assumptions in this question. First of all, the occasions where I don't feel epic are not rare. Second of all, why would I use food to feel better? That's for losers. I'm just kidding. I know it's actually a real problem for some people. But I think the root of that problem is, why do you give so much importance on how you feel? Feelings are just feelings. They're worthless. Actually, they're not worthless. They're useful. Some. But there are some other feelings that are not useful at all. I'm not saying that you need to be a robot, but you're not a beast, an animal either. You're not a slave to your own whims. If you're feeling something good, something that you enjoy, then enjoy it. If you're feeling something that you don't enjoy, well, first you need to figure out if that feeling is useful, because there are bad feelings that are useful. But if you, as a rational human being, identify a feeling that you don't enjoy and you determine that that is not useful, then just ignore it. You can just acknowledge that feeling is there, look at it and say, hey, you little bitch, I see you there. And I see what you're trying to do with me. But guess what? It won't work. So sit down and be quiet. At least that's the way I think. Do you know the opposite of how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? No. And you thought I wouldn't be able to say that, didn't you? Well, joke's on you, because I just said it, and it only took me 37 takes. Well, my friends, if you have any more weird questions for me, feel free to leave them at the comment section below. You guys know that my purpose here is all about giving you power. That being with music or with a cheap laugh. It's all about giving you an epic day, and that video right here might as well accomplish just that. See you there.
I like that the video is Glorious Death. That is a good one, I'm not gonna lie. But there you go, guys. That was my first time reaction to Dan Vasc, Dan Vasc, the video answering weird questions. I enjoyed that, I'm not gonna lie. It was interesting to see some of the questions that his fans asked him. But it was also funny to see, like, him and his responses sometimes. So, and the facial expressions he made and all kinds of stuff like that. But overall, like I mentioned, I really enjoyed this one. If you guys liked it, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below in the comment section for any requests. Type the artist, song by the artist. I'll make sure to react to it. Same thing with Throwback Thursday. If you have any requests for Dan Vasc, comment below. I'll make sure to react to it. But as always, guys, I will see y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace out, guys.